I wasn't wearing pants and it just.
Happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome to Best Ball with Bindle special edition with EmoCowboy. We're going to do a little exposure review from the big board and the little board and take a look forward to BBM 5. So hop in with us and let's get this fun night going. GM, EmoCowboy, how's it going? How's your week been so far? You ready to talk some exposures and expose yourself?
It's been good, man. It's been busy. Busy news week. Officially announced co-hosting with Tom over on Fantasy Football Sanctuary. We'll be doing BBM weekly streams Monday afternoon to give you your fix and cravings. It's been good, man. Weather's been pretty good. Trying to get some sun before it's hot best ball summer, and I'm ripping drafts, cardio style, shirtless around the neighborhood, getting all the old people looking, being like,
riled up.
Fuck is that? Yeah. So just having a good time, man. It's been busy, but it's been good. How about you, man? How you doing?
Yeah, just I saw your big news and I was super excited, so I wanted to have you on, and it's been a little bit since I had you on, so just always good to chat with you. I put your the link to the Fantasy Sanctuary in the chat.
Appreciate that.
So make sure to go check that out, everyone, and go and subscribe for those Monday streams. It'll be firing up in a few weeks. But yeah, I've been good. Trying to just, on the grind. We're, channels doing well, and I appreciate the support from everyone. So we're just going to keep it on rolling into hot best ball summer. But so exposures. Do you want to pull up some exposures and get into it? Starting with you want to go position by position, starting with quarterbacks, and then
let's do it. Let me pull them up.
And then why don't we? I was just thinking, like, we can kind of transition that over into kind of just talking about how we're going to approach BBM 5. Just starting off, and just kind of what do we think is going to change with the rookies' ADPs if they get some landing spots, because we've seen, even with like big news and stuff, like it's kind of a delayed process of when the ADP moves. So we're definitely going to want to try to take advantage of some stuff once it opens up.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, is my video frozen for you?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's having a moment. So let me see.
That's okay. No worries.
It did this earlier. I guess it doesn't want to share.
Okay, 1 second. No worries.
Let's see. Let's do that. Come back.
There you go. I think you're back.
There we go. All right. New camera, playing around with settings, having to learn some new tech. That's how it goes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you get a new is it 4K? It looks nice. I like it.
It's not a 4K, but I think it's a step above. Yeah. I was partially tempted to leave it just fucking mean mugging the stream for the rest of the time because it'd have been hilarious. But also it throws me off. Also, what up to everybody? Appreciate everybody in the chat coming and hanging out. Also, dude, Bendels, it's been super fun coming on every single time. So it's fun to shoot the shit, get to see that beautiful throwback Detroit Lions helmet in the background. We love the vibes here, man. Yeah, maybe if the video breaks again, I'll just do a shirtless pose for the people.
We got to have that in the hopper just in case.
To it, man. Yeah, so I'm actually kind of itchy because I went and maxed everything, and I don't know what to do with my hands for the draft. So kind of it's kind of annoying and thrilling to see Underdog cancel a draft. I'm currently finishing up a slow for my 150th because they canceled one from like 2 months ago.
You don't get that nice smooth exposures with 150. That's annoying.
Yeah, so yeah, that one's going because I knew if I ripped it fast, it'd be gone. So I figured just a little bit of news to the tail end as everything goes out. But yeah, I know. I mean, like I have edges to push, and I know like stuff like the Rice news and stuff like that. Like yeah, a round or two of ADP, that's cool. It's whatever. I don't
Shit's
really
gonna
care.
happen.
Yeah, I've got so to recap for some folks that may have missed, we met at the beginning of the year to talk resolutions, and I talked through some of my resolutions with you. I was gonna just strike from the record some players right out the get go that just injury profile looked bad, trying to push that edge, not even messing with guys like Chubb who were going, fifth to seventh round for most of the contest. I just wasn't going to mess with that because stuff happens, app glitches. You see 30 picks of ADP, you're like, oh, maybe I just didn't want to mess with any of those guys I knew weren't going to be good right off the bat to avoid my like cup thing last year. It was like, hey, serious hammy may go on pup. Oh, let me just buy the dip. And he struggles with it at 31 all year long. So I figure let's just avoid some landmines. That's how I'm gonna build. If I'm drafting this early, let me just avoid some landmines. And so if that was my thought process, then I'm not too worried about ADP stuff because I've tried to get ahead of that with a lot of rookies early, especially the rookie receivers. They've all steamed up several rounds. I mean, slight stuff here or there. I don't think it's as valuable as it's going to be in like BBM and in the contest coming up this summer. So I figured, let me just max. Let me push my edge. And what happens happens. I'm not too worried about anything late breaking. It's still so much chaos to ensue. And with that, I mean, as you can see, Kyler, I mispriced the entire time. I thought easy QB1 with top, 3 upside weekly and season long as, staying healthy, ran bad with a couple of rushing touchdowns, not getting there last season. And now we expect him to have Marvin Harrison, Neighbors, Roma Dunze, like one of the top 3 guys we expect him to have. They may take a second guy and make a lot of sense to do so, because they don't really have Michael Wilson's fine to bad.
He's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Greg Dortch is small, exciting, but fine, So it's like they have no reason not to push all in on Kyler and that offense. And so they're well positioned to do that. And he still looks solid rushing. Now he's a year removed from the ACL, so we expect that rushing production to tick up. Blah, 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 blah. Legs go fast is basically my top 3 quarterbacks. And they run, brother. And we want running. I don't give a fuck. Like, it's just give me the rushing upside weekly. And especially with Josh Allen being that 2-3 price that's really heavy to stomach. And you're trying to stack him with rookies and stuff, and it's gonna. I mean, they got away with it last year with being more of a run heavy offense, and it sure as shit seems like they're trying to lower the ADOT, make it more like ball control shit. And that kind of hurts his ceiling and floor a bit. I mean, he's still ripped off just fine, but it's if you're paying second, third round prices for that, and you're taking that opportunity cost, it would be nice to see them, keep Diggs, load up with a Brian Thomas or a Troy Franklin, add. But they're kind of soft rebuilding, and we know Josh has those Looney Tunes stretches of just chucking it in 3 interception games or whatever. So I don't know. It's how do I arbitrage that with cheaper quarterbacks that could easily top or meet his production. So it's kind of my thesis for that.
And then ceilings are super high for all these guys.
Exactly.
Right?
It's best ball. And with 20 rounds, it's easier to, and then the resolution we talked about was building out multiple quarterback stacks. And if you're going to go 3 quarterback, then ideally skinny stack them all.
Yep.
and 20 rounds affords you to do that. So if you're worried about an AR or a Jaden's, Wiley Coyote, Steve-O hits, well, okay, so later to mid quarterback builds with 3 and stack them up as best you can. That was what I wanted to do anyway. Outside of that, just trying to invest in really good offenses. When it was apparent that they were just going to bring Goff, keep Goff around, keep Ben Johnson, and just keep building. Like, yeah, I mean, so offenses early and often that good players at decent prices. I mean, Amon-Ra and Gibbs are first round picks. Laporte's a third round pick. But outside of that, Monty's 7th through 9th round,
Yeah, it's a really good price on
all
Monty.
contest. JMO's not exciting, but he's fine. And then I knew they were going to keep one of Reynolds or Khalif Raymond, and it'd be smart to draft a rookie wide receiver because if you look at their 2025 players, like, they haven't extended Amon-Ra yet. They most likely will. But outside of that, and then we saw Reynolds leave. Khalif is more of a special teams guy, but he's 1-year deal left on his deal, coming back from injury. And JMO's pushing to be a starter. So I don't know. It would make a lot of sense for them to take a talented rookie receiver in a deep class. So it was, stacking teams like the Lions. And I wasn't going to be scared of skinny stacking Goff. Like, again, in a contest like this, there's plenty that can go wrong. And so if I didn't have Jared Goff doubles, I was most likely taking him after ADP when I didn't have as clean of a stack going, and just leaning into maybe I bank one of these rookie wide receivers like a Troy Franklin, a Ricky Pearsall, a Ladd McConkey, a Roman Wilson, especially early in the contest whenever the rookies were stupidly cheap.
They were so cheap, yeah.
Yeah.
Now looking back, you're just like, how the hell are they so cheap? Which was the thesis all along, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Same with Love. I don't love the Jaden Reed ADP because it just really does feel like they're kind of be rotational a lot with those receivers, but he's got an exciting year 2 profile. I got a lot more of him at the back end of my maxing as he started kind of slipping to the back end of round, like the 5-6 turn. I enjoy building. I have a lot of Jordan Love, Dontavian Wicks stacks. I easily, if I need, especially when Love slips, it's like if I don't have a quarterback yet and I've got an exciting core, let me go grab that really exciting young quarterback with all of his team intact, and they're adding more stuff to it. And then Wicks is a really exciting year 2 profile. So just trying to combine all those elements of exciting quarterbacks, exciting offenses, young players, ascending players, but especially hammering the guys whose prices are stupid cheap. Like Goff, for example. I don't think Goff should be going about where he was going last year, considering he met those expectations, crushed, had some really big spike weeks, and we expect most of that offense to return and potentially get better.
It's such a good offense, good weapons, right? Like, it just makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Paul's saying anything goes, but I'm just trying to we have anyone that's drafting right now are some deranged, sick, sharp individuals for the most part. So it's like, how do I separate myself from doing that? And it's trying to build that way. It's also been tough to stomach. Okay. So the card thing's funny. My first 60 drafts, I had removed Carr. I was like, low ceiling player. I'm not investing in this. He's shitty in the red zone. You need touchdowns to spike if you're going to get there. And I started pushing quarterbacks so late that I was ending up especially in a lot of QB frothy rooms.
Just needing a guy.
Needing a guy. And so twofold. Rashid Shaheed is really fucking good, and he's perfect for best ball. If he's going to hit your lineup 2, 3, 4 times during the season, it's because he's just ripped off,
50 yards,
120 yards and 2 touchdowns minimum. And we saw Carr get there by having those stupidly long touchdowns. And so something flipped 1/3 of the way through my drafts of well, Rashid is probably poorly priced and cheap. A.T. Perry's free. I haven't taken a lot of him, but like thesis wise,
Sure.
Juwan Johnson's the starting tight end for now. And if he hits your lineup, it's because he just boxed out for 2 touchdowns. I knew they were going to cut Michael Thomas early because of how they structured that, and then they ended up cutting him along with Winston. And then when they reached, and my hesitation with Carr early on was that, are they going to try to get out of this contract? And then when they doubled down on him, they're like, hey, they put their hands up. They're like, we have to do Carr. So I was like, well, fuck it. If they're going in with Carr this year, that means they're not likely to like bench him or whatever, because they need this to work out. They need one more year of win now, and they've got a Shanny offense OC coming in. So it's like, well, fuck it. If I've got Kamara not cut, and then and Kendry's cheap, and Rashid's cheap, and Jawan's free, it's not the worst thing in the world. If a quarterback going to start all year go at 180 to 195, I'll take that over the will they, won't they start all year, rookies.
That's fair. That's fair, and I'm assuming that's a derogatory. That
if it's Casey, I'm assuming I'm assuming a little bit of both derogatory and non-derogatory. But outside of that, I mean, it's just kind of like, do they run? Will they start? Do they stack? Do their price? And outside of that, it's kind of flat.
Drake May, right? It's he runs, even though he's white, he does run. So that's and he throws the ball deep. So that's a good one right there. You don't have the leg up like 30 or 40%, but you still have a solid 14 above market.
Well, because ideally, if you're going to have him, you have him stacked. And right now, it's very unclear what team is going to take him. And if he's at risk to go to New England, which is a coin flip right now, and they are talking a whole lot about not starting their guy and slow rolling him and yada yada. There's risk involved, but he's an exciting guy, but easy guy to throw in 3 quarterback stacks. Legs go move, but I don't know. I feel like we gotta. I have had a need for speed this drafting season, so I'm trying to go after some fast dudes. I think it's far more exciting if we talk wide receivers. And we got some burners coming up. I'm really excited about these rookies. All the smoke coming out, very exciting. But I've fallen into a pattern of sorts of things. So I don't know. I'm hammering the guys, and I was trying to hammer guys like, Xavier Worthy's not in my top 5. I wish he was, but his price did increase, and that's a range where I'm hammering quarterbacks and running backs very often. But seeing steam that, it's so exciting to see a guy like that. What if Miami? What if Chiefs? What if, just small Tyreek. He's been getting talked about a lot, and it's rookie fever's got me. Roman Wilson, another, Roman Wilson's price has been dropping recently a little bit too. But just wanting a lot of those guys, plus all the big spike week guys. Lots of touchdowns, lots of yards. Give it to you.
I think we have a little bit of a juicy tidbit on Xavier Worthy. So we have a special guest. So let's rip it.
Hey, Jen.
Pathology, how's it going, brother?
Things are great. I'm here in Charlotte, North Carolina at the Charlotte NASCAR Hall of Fame. I'm getting to know some awesome mustaches here in the NASCAR world. I'm very new to the market, but these guys love the speed. I found out today that Xavier Worthy, 22.7 on a kickoff return at Texas. The dude's fucking fast. We should be drafting him. Right? Am I not right?
Amen, brother.
Fuck
Octane.
boy.
I've learned a lot about Octane today at the NASCAR Hall of Fame. You guys know a lot about Octane?
I want to go fast.
Yes. Let's draft fast guys this year. The faster they are, I think the more they're going to score touchdowns.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Go Burr.
Let's burn it. I'm out.
Burn rubber, brother. Appreciate you, man. I fucking love that. Oh
So
man.
that was our correspondent, Mathology. He will be joining us from time to time. So we had to get that special report in, and perfect timing as he's at a place where people like to go fast, and when we like drafting fast wide receivers. So.
Well, I mean, everybody just watched the Miami team score a shitload of points on long plays with big explosive touchdowns. So we love to explode around here. We love to score as often as possible. So give me all of the fast guys like Xavier Worthy. Honorable mentions being, I believe, A.D. Mitchell had the fastest gauntlet at the combine. And then we've got all the next gen, speed stats coming out about these guys, like Brian Thomas, guys who crushed the Rizzy Pearsall, another one, crushed the combine, crushed the advanced metrics. And that was another thing too, is before the combine, trying to utilize all of the speed data and a lot of, so kind of just looking at Daniel Jeremiah's top 50 and 75 guys, looking at the PFF guys, and then looking at like what their speed scores were in college games, especially recently. And a lot of those things were overlapping with guys who crushed the combine. And so their ADPs are rising because it's being kind of counted, double counted almost, of like, oh, we saw him go fast, yada, yada, especially with like guys like Xavier Worthy. So early on, I was trying to hammer a bunch of those fast as fuck boys that were crushing and also had really good production years at some point, especially Xavier Worthy. Everybody comps him to John Ross because of the 40 times, but his production was better in college than Ross's. So yeah, the vets, here's my thinking, right? Guys that scored a shitload, especially big touchdown weeks, who true alphas, whose prices haven't really moved, and I like them better than other players ideally. And then late, finishing out, the rookies were my easy pickings late, as they've all risen past like round 14. I'm basically, to finish out my builds, I'm trying to finish basically as the pockets were shifting. It was either like running backs, tight ends, or wide receivers late, especially as like everybody was being pushed up. And so it's got to the point where, okay, I need one or two extra wide receivers late.
It got D-Rob at the end. Like
D-Rob really re-signed to the Rams. I'm not taking a ton of Cooper Kupp because there's concern about his man coverage dipping 2 years in a row. Now, was dealing with that hammy. We've seen the floor drop out. And so if we're confident in that offense, scoring a lot of touchdowns, and he's at worst wide receiver 3 on the Rams, and we were drafting Tutu Atwell for that very reason.
Yeah.
Give me D-Rob.
Right? Demarcus Robinson had like, I don't know how many games in a row with the touchdown. It was pretty wild. It was like, what, 5 or 6 games in a row with the touchdown? It was insane.
It was just like Odell. We saw the wide receiver 3 2 different years in a row that not Tutu, but anybody but Tutu that had size and speed just worked the red zone really well. They talked him up a lot mid-season. He took over the role. He crushed. They re-signed him. He's joining. Just right now with information that we have, he's on a team. He's on a good offense. And his contingent upside is pretty nice if anyone gets hurt. They just signed Colton Parkinson. So they lost Higbee. Maybe they lean even more pass heavy without a tight end for the receivers. That benefits a guy like D-Rob, who's just a really red zone specialist. And he's cheap. Same thing with Slayton. It's just vets who didn't get cut or return to their team, who have shown big spike week potential, standalone, big body touchdown guys. And if they don't hit, it's not hurting, but it's more of a construction thing and a profile thing for the most part.
Yeah, Slayton, right? Like the Giants have so many guys, but they're all pretty much slot guys for the most part, right? Waller might retire.
Waller's definitely going to retire. If you drag it out 3 months, like you're not turning around and be like, yeah, I'll sign up. But like camp come, like Chris Long talks about this with guys who retire on his pod. They're like, it's easiest to think about not retiring in like February or March. The second camp's coming around and it's time to like whip your ass in shape and sweat your balls off and get yelled at, you're like, nah, fuck this.
Camp is, yeah. I think you reach a certain point, you're like, I just can't do another camp again. Like that shit is terrible.
Well, especially when so much of his is just rehab, you know? It's lower body soft tissue stuff. At 34, I don't blame him. But yeah, so anyway, worst case scenario for Slayton, I don't see him getting relegated unless they just remake the entire wide receiver core. Because like you said, he's a one-of-one profile in that room right now. Even if they take like a guy like Neighbors or Odunze, like they need to invest in the O-line. They need to invest in the D-line. They need another quarterback of the future. So they probably only take like one or two rookie receivers, and the odds that Slayton doesn't at least give us some usable shit. And I think Slayton has outs to just get like, let's say he gets kind of relegated. Well, teams need receivers. He provides a very valuable, profile. He gets traded away because his contract is peanuts. Like there's enough work around there. And like I said, it's 20th round pick.
Yeah.
It's usability at a valuable position.
So yeah, Amari Cooper and Evans, you were kind of making the case, just kind of alpha target earners. Like we saw Mike Evans 2 years ago in the playoffs with a huge week. We saw Amari Cooper last year with a huge week. I'm assuming that's the thesis, right? You were kind of covering off before, but because I know you sent this, you gave me a little sneak peek about the 40% Amari Cooper, and I was like, that's probably it. But
well, so the other thing with Cooper is he falls a lot. Like in these rooms, everybody wants the rookies and second year guys, and if you're gonna give me Amari Cooper in the basically like the early to mid part of the 5th round, I'm taking the guy that's running all of the routes. He's still he's 29 going on 30 or whatever for like the 5th year in a row.
It's not like he's falling off though at all.
Well, here's the thing. I'm concerned about Watson. He produced with Watson. He was the only one that produced with Watson on a regular basis in that pass catching core. Jerry Jeudy is a slightly less suck version of Elijah Moore, who's now in town. He takes away targets from no one in his career, especially in the red zone. We've seen that. He has short alligator arms that cannot catch a fucking ball to save his life. And he crushed again last year. His ADP is very palpable. And yeah, it's just like give me a guy that can go nuclear. Because like, let's say worst case scenario was like, oh, Watson goes down. Well, Joe Flacco left, and who did they replace him with? Jameis? Fuck it, he's down there somewhere.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that's actually kind of underrated. Like, because last year it was like a mix of I can't even remember the guy's fucking name. The running quarterback from UCLA, and then we had the other.
That's Casey and Katie's boy, who we were so excited for him.
Yeah, there was like
the job from Watson.
I mean, and those guys were like barely even like NFL caliber quarterbacks.
They're not.
Right?
They're barely XFL players.
And then Jameis, I mean, he had eye surgery, right? And he had the 30 for 30 touch. Oh, DTR, yeah, that's
Dorian Thompson Robinson.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Casey.
But I mean, I think that honestly, like that actually raises their floor a lot, right? Like if Watson just is a bum and he gets benched or whatever happens, like I think Jameis is perfectly capable. I mean, he's basically a better version of Flacco last year, right?
Other thing that I keep forgetting to, it's in the back of my head, and a reason why I've been investing in those alpha pass catchers. They bring in Ken Dorsey, who just led the efficiency and pass rates of the passing attack in Buffalo, and that raises the floor as well. True. You know, like it's that's helping everybody's floor and ceiling there. They're gonna lean into the pass even more and potentially more efficiently. And my concerns with Watson are he operates more like empty shotgun style stuff. Well, that Ken Dorsey does that, and he does that well with Josh Allen. So, like, yeah, give me all of the Amari Cooper, and same thing with Evans. I just think mispriced based on what they can do season long and what they can do weekly. And in these contests where I'm taking 8 to 9 receivers, and I'm also trying to go heavy on the rookies. I'm trying to be purposeful about what type of vets I pack in. I don't want empty calorie vets like Bateman or Jerry Jeudy. I want high dense, high protein veterans to just supercharge the T out this fucking roster. That's what I want. And that's what we gonna get.
Amen, brother.
I know that people are frothy, so I'll put up the green.
Okay, so
He's gonna shock some people.
So Demont, I like a lot. I feel like Demont really. I had Sacrilegious on, and he was just talking about how like he almost never busts, but he whatever, he'll give you some RB2 weeks, right? Almost every week if you need it, and then I think his contingent upside is pretty underrated. With Gibbs, if Gibbs does go down, I think he could. I mean, we saw he had like a 25-point game last week, and he's always live for a 3-touchdown game, just given the Detroit offense.
Great offense. Yeah, great offense, lots of touchdowns, and easy price. Like standalone and contingent, that's perfect for what we want, especially for rooms. I'm trying to and Zach talks about this a lot too. If you're building thinner with like a 5 running back room, Monty's perfect for that because he fits every scenario really well. Out the gate, season long, weak contingent. I mean, and again, great offense. He's like the price is so good.
Okay, so it looks like we have another update from our correspondent. We're gonna bring him in for a second.
Boys, you're not drafting yet?
What's going on, brother?
Why you guys aren't drafting yet?
I'm all maxed out.
Shit.
Yeah, we're just vibing tonight.
Did you guys know that Winston is a type of cigarette?
Did not.
Did not. It was the Winston Cup back in the 80s. And did you know that NASCAR had the most beautiful trophies? Look at the size of these tits on these trophies.
Wow, those are juicy.
Nice.
I mean, these guys killed it. The mustache, the 80s. They even had shotguns for trophies. Check this out.
I need a gold BBM5 shotgun, I guess.
I mean, come on, right? Well, enjoy the show.
$3 million where you can have a shotgun.
Yeah. You actually could win more money on best ball than you could drive a NASCAR in the 80s. These guys only got $1 million a race. When's BBM4 coming out or 5 coming out? When's it coming out?
It's probably coming out, 2 weeks with the draft?
I think it was the night of the last round of the draft. So we're getting here pretty soon. So it's hot best ball summer will be upon us very soon.
The race is about to begin.
Awesome. Hey, well, sorry you're not drafting, but thanks for having me on.
Oh, of course, man. Appreciate the trophy, or as you call them, trophy tits.
So yeah, we're trying to sigh up from the real issue, which is Kareem Hunt. So we have a lot of people in the chat clamoring for your Kareem Hunt take.
All right, well let's address something. So another thing we talked about coming into the season was here's the thing. It's a weaker running back class, so the odds that more than a 2-3 rookie running backs really makes a difference is very likely. There's going to be a lot of rookies that fall flat. We saw that somewhat last year, and this is an even worse class, quote, quote. We may not get a rookie running back before in round 2. That's a potential. So with that in mind, maxing so early, and I talked to you in Mathology about this, leverage that with the dusty vets who just served workhorse roles, high-value touch roles, red zone roles. So that's where guys like Hunt and Zeke came in. In the 20th round, if I needed a 6th or 7th running back, especially when I was taking shots on 3+ rookie running backs in a weak class.
Just some early season production.
Go for a guy that might have a role at some point, either early season or come in and fill a role with a camp injury. Hunt just did that. Hunt just did that. There was a camp injury, and then Chubb goes down. He comes in, he splits the work 50-50, trusts in the red zone, trusted in pass pro. He got his groin surgery right after the season ended. Okay, 20th round running back. Who do I want more in a thin or zero RB class? Do I want Isaiah Davis? I mean, he's fun. He's cool. There's zero smoke. He's going above like the 5th round.
I was gonna say, yeah, he could be like a 7th round pick, right?
Yeah,
Like,
and also here's again, we're talking about differentiating rosters. I'm playing against a lot of sharp dudes with a lot of strong takes. Well, at some point, I'm gonna have to eat my vitamins, even if they taste like shit. And so the vitamins that taste like shit late are guys like Hunt and Zeke. Yeah. I'll be honest, I got to like 100 drafts before I realized that Hunt
it was this high.
half my rosters. But again, as a 20th round pick at running back with a guy that has a high value touch role, and like Mathology just said, we are chasing trophies, and sometimes those trophies could be dusty tits, but that doesn't mean they don't win. And Kareem Hunt is my dusty tits.
Yeah, I think Ross K. Red is saying Foreman over Hunt.
I have plenty of Foreman.
You have some Foreman. I was gonna say, I thought you were a Foreman guy as well.
Yeah, I have been. In fact, I was taking Foreman before, like I was taking Foreman in February with the same thought process. The problem was Foreman before he signed, which again, I maxed everything like 4 fucking weeks ago before Little Board 2 dropped. So that was before, like, I think my last 15 drafts were Foreman. Fuck Flintstone gummies. Yo, Gabba Gabba, these nuts, bitch. No, like, Foreman, like 4 touchdown upside, right? Problem was he was the same guy that went into camp as a cut candidate and barely got any work until like it got real bad. And was a year older than Hunt. So before either one signed, I went with the guy more likely to get a role and get signed. After Foreman got signed, he started getting mixed in because he's on a team, and I'm trying to. The other resolution we talked about, double lever. So if I'm fading Chubb at ADP because of price and because of injury risk, and then the team signs Foreman and has a good rushing attack, boom. Let me take Foreman when I don't take Chubb. So,
I saw you had a good amount of Jerome Ford as well. I'm assuming that was pre Foreman signing, kind of the same thing.
And I still take him because Foreman's not going to have the pass catching role. He's going to have the rushing role. So if Ford's still going to be the guy catching passes and he's getting drafted between 130 and 150, sign me up.
He was pretty good last year. I mean, it was like he was explosive. He catches passes, right? I mean, fade Chubb.
Hey, Steph, it's hard to see it with Hunt until you see it again. He's 29. The Chiefs just signed Clyde, but guess what? If Kareem Hunt is healthy and looking good and they miss on their rookie that they want, he can come in and be a better Jet, even not on the Chiefs. Like, fuck. He's gonna end up on a team and piss everybody off. He's gonna end up on the Ravens. He's gonna end up on the Bills.
If the Bengals don't bring in,
he's gonna sign and he's gonna get work. And a running back's going to go down. And like it's gonna happen. And if it doesn't, as Pete and Davis famously said, it's a 20th round pick, bro. Who even cares, bro? Like. Who cares? It's Kareem Hunt. He's gonna catch.
We're all gonna lose anyways.
It doesn't matter. So it's more of a construction thing. If Hunt's the reason why I'm done at wide receiver and I'm just trying to catch up at running back, like that's fine.
Sounds like Lenny all over again. I mean,
maybe, yeah. And guess what?
Lenny's
if he's still
the Bills,
another thing for Hunt too is that like I'm baking in some of the we don't know. Hunt got surgery early in the offseason. So teams are usually not quick to sign those guys. And then also I know teams are playing the comp pick bullshit. So for that 2-week of quiet period, no one's really getting signed because they don't want to give up comp pick stuff, and so anything after the draft. So I'll be interested to see, and like going into BBM, if Hunt's not signed after the draft, and he's more of a wait and see guy, I'm not taking any more of him until we hear something about him, because that's how I got burnt on Lenny. Was like taking Lenny with no news, and then I stopped taking him when we got news that Hunt and Zeke were getting interviews and talking with teams, but Lenny wasn't. So this is more of like this is a shot I'm taking, and if we get more information, cool. And if not,
we still have lots of contests to draft, right?
Is a 0 from Kareem Hunt going to be any different than a 0 from Kendall Vidal or fucking Isaiah Davis or Carson Steele or Dylan Johnson? No. But he's got a better like week 1 path.
Whispers or Dylan Laub.
Yeah, I mean, Dylan Lube, super exciting, but if he goes 7th round to a stacked running back like committee, like whoop-de-doo.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a lock. I don't think whatever. He could go 6th, 7th round or even undrafted, right?
Yeah.
Like,
and guess what? That's my leverage. And other thing too, I'm scrolling the F down. Kareem Hunt has an undrafted ADP. So y'all are taking Laub, y'all are taking Zeke, and guess what? Zeke hasn't signed it. He's just talked about signing, and now it's in the 17th round. So it's like I will have the scroll the F down guy who has some upside. Like, fuck it,
They're roasting you, but I honestly don't hate it.
I mean, it's fine. I mean, Kareem Hunt's disgusting, and I hate the human being. But win me 200K and whatever, I don't care. But yeah, I figured I'll go ahead and show the blue.
Juwan.
I'm glad I did all my yada yadas about New Orleans and Carr, but
yeah,
I wanted to get as much Trey McBride and Kyler as possible. We talked about that. I probably didn't get enough McBride, for being honest. I want more, but I think 20% is pretty nice.
Hoosier, you missed a lot, honestly.
You gotta roll it, but trust me, start from the beginning. Wait, pull up Ferris's comment. You know, Kyron Williams was a last round pick for like 70% of BBM. So, and same with Puka. So I don't necessarily agree with that. It's not likely to be the guy you win,
but when it does hit, yeah.
But it's sure as shit the more likely piece to be the reason why you won if you nail it. We talked about that, like trying to nail those late round picks like they matter, but understanding that they are not likely to hit. So it's just about the bet. Yeah, Juwan. My worry with Juwan is that they could easily draft like a Bowers if Bowers falls.
They could, but it's like,
I don't think they're going.
They don't have Jimmy Graham anymore, but they have Foster Moreau. I feel like they have like a bunch of like random ass tight ends that like, and they have so many. They have so many holes on their team. I feel like O-line, D-line, like they just need a lot. I don't know.
Yeah, close your glasses. Picture this. It's week 17 again. Michael Thomas is not playing again because he's cut and he's dust, and we knew that. Juwan Johnson plays the Mike Thomas box out red zone role and catches 2 touchdowns again. I have a lot of Evans, so I'm going for like divisional correlations.
That's
play each other week 17, catch 2-3 touchdowns apiece. Yummy in my tummy. He's free. So fuck it. Taysom. New OC. Don't owe Taysom shit.
The thing with
also
Juwan
never
too,
check.
The thing with Juwan too is like he had a really good year 2 years ago. He was hurt. He came back, and when he was playing, he still had a lot. Do you have literally 0 Chig?
Chig was one of my do not takes. New head coach. Oh, that was the thing too. New head coaches don't give a fuck about those players, especially if those players suck. So we had 9 new head coaches and OCs come in, and now they're already talking. When Brian Callahan was asked about the tight end room, he's like, we need more tight ends. Here are the tight ends in order. Mention Chig's second or third, and mention all three and said we need more going into camp. Nah. You know who might take Brock Bowers?
That's what I was about to say. They
Yeah.
might take Bowers. I think it's pretty live. Like everything we've been hearing from Brian Callahan is like, we want weapons. We're gonna throw the ball. Like we're like, I know people are penciling in like Joe Alt or a tackle there, but I think they could take either whatever. If Rome falls to them or Bowers, I think they could take them and just say,
they
fuck it,
want passing attack. Yeah.
I mean, they're just trying to max it, right? Like maybe Will Levis is terrible, but like maybe Will Levis will be fine, especially if he has some weapons. Like we see with quarterbacks all the time, like Bryce Young, like just terrible situation. I mean, obviously, like if you put Stroud there, maybe he just transcends the situation, but like that was pretty much the absolute worst outcome you can possibly have. So yeah, all that to say, screw Chig. I don't there's no reason to be taking him. Even Traylon too. Like I just seems like they're both dead.
Oh, you want another goose egg? Yeah.
Traylon, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm fine taking Ridley and Hopkins, like, but the other ancillary pieces, I just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like they're telling you exactly what they want to do. They want to be versatile. They want to be pass heavy. They want to run 11 personnel. That's why they have Spears and Pollard overlapping.
Yep. Exactly.
Jacob Sanderson, iterated that early, and so that's why I've been investing in those guys when they fall past ADP and the pass catchers. And yeah, Levis can suck because guess what? He's a second round pick. If he sucks this year, they found out we gave him all the weapons. He sucked. Buy and they get a new quarterback that comes into a great situation, a la Caleb Williams, like coming into the Bears. And also the NFL Stock Exchange guys mentioned this a couple weeks ago that Brian Callahan came with his dad. Daddy Callahan coached a good offensive line no matter who the fuck was out there blocking. So they don't need to take a tackle early because they can take the tackle early in the second round and the third round and be coached up by one of the two best offensive line coaches. And we know that shit matters because when Scarnecchia retired from the league and stopped coaching up the New England mess, they started looking like a bunch of shitheads again. They suck. Well, I guess those guys that suck looked good because of coaching. So I think Rome and Bowers are totally in play, especially because the smoke that the Giants want Bowers is very real. Everybody's hearing that. So it's if you want that guy, you're gonna have to go get him. And so I think the favorites for the Titans are probably Rome and Bowers because they talked about wanting a slot guy who's not Traylon to fucking tear it up. So I think it's to be an offensive weapon. I really do.
I think so. If I had to bet, I would bet offensive weapon. I know the chalk is offensive tackle, but I agree with you on that 100%.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm trying to be mindful of cutting bait on guys that pockets of this community tend to hold on to too long because I want one less dead roster spot. And I'd rather my dead roster spot be someone with realistic, usable upside or floor. And yeah, just Chig gives none of that. But going through other guys, Trey McBride, give him all to me. Marv takes a few catches away from him. That's
the
cool.
offense will be better. Yeah, that's what
touchdowns we want. Go up. Yeah, give me more touchdowns. Give me a guy to take pressure off of him, to take the corners deep. I don't give a fuck. Did Tyreek keep Travis Kelce from being a round one tight end? No, not at all. They both produced very much alongside each other. So I think him being way cheaper than Laporta, ridiculous. Give me the youth, especially with guys like Kelce and Andrews on the downswing. We just saw them both struggle with health and with age this past year. Andy Reid's talking about managing Kelce's snap load again this year. So guess who's not being managed down work-wise and whose offense is getting better? Give me all the Trey. Hunter Henry's probably the Kareem Hunt of the tight end room where he's disgusting, but he still caught 2 touchdowns in the red zone. They called him a red zone threat again. And if his worst case scenario is Jacoby Brissett or a rookie leaning on him, cool.
Yeah.
In fact, the fact that they have no good wide receivers out there really tells me that Henry's going to see a bunch of short targets again as they try to like play defense ball. I think the Patriots are going to try to. I think the running backs and the tight ends are going to matter mostly again. So yeah, it just Tucker's.
I need your before we move on with more tight ends. I need your Ramondre take, because I used to be a Ramondre guy, but I'm just like, bad offense. They brought in Gibson, who is like pretty much the same type of role, 1%. So that's 2 times you drafted him, right? Or it's a $10 and a $3. So
Yeah, one big board, one little board. I agree. I think he's had the most to lose with free agency and with the draft. And he did not feel like a worthwhile investment given opportunity cost. I can have Najee or Demont, or I can have Ramondre, or I can have Pollard. I'm going to take those guys. I'm going to take those guys because Antonio Gibson's taking away some pass catching work potentially. And that wasn't a nothing burger signing.
No, it wasn't. I think
the front office is staying intact.
Yeah.
I will wait to see what's going on with that team before I touch Ramondre. I would have preferred Ramondre, and it doesn't make any sense to me really that Ramondre never really changed in price. He should have dropped to like closer like the 8th, 9th round. Like Brian Robinson is going 106.
Yep, we were talking about him in the ship chasing Discord the other day. Like, I just don't understand. Like, okay, the Patriots offense we know is going to be bad. Like, I don't care if they draft a rookie quarterback. I don't care if they draft Marv. Like,
a rookie doesn't make them better.
It's
makes
not
them volatile.
Like, yeah, and then so like B-Rob straight up. Like, I'll take B-Rob straight up over Ramondre. Like, I just think B-Rob was good last year, right?
Yeah.
Like, people, like it's who was it? Sam Sherman was just saying it's the boring name discount. If his name was Kamani Vidal, then we would be drafting him like two or 3 rounds higher. Like, I mean, you're literally signing the most dust running back of all time in Austin Eckler, and Austin Eckler's still going above him just because of his name. So yeah, that one makes just absolutely no sense to me. And I just think why, like, that's like, there's stuff like that happens all the time that we can take advantage of. So yeah, like drafting them once or twice across 192 contests, like I think that's an edge you can push.
He's not a guy that's going to bury me, is the thing. Like,
no, there's absolutely no way.
Yeah, his efficiency dipped even before the injury, which is partly why Zeke was cutting into his snaps anyway. And if Zeke can cut into your snaps, a talented rookie in the 3rd round can cut into your snaps. So yeah, his price is more of an issue. Taking him precludes me from Kyler, Jordan Love, Najee, Jalen, catching up, taking like early shots on Xavier, A.D. Mitchell, any falling tight ends of like Evan Ingram or Brock Bowers. Like, it's,
I was gonna say Bowers
opportunity cost. I want those guys more than I want Stevenson.
Yeah, 26-year-old running back, low draft capital. They brought in a guy who does basically the same stuff as him, right? Like, Gibson can take goal line work. He can. He is a pass catcher as well. And just, yeah, don't get that one.
I'll take Ramondre if they end up taking like competent pieces to add to the offense in the draft. Then that doesn't include a running back. We're getting positive camp news about how not like flaming hot bag of shit on fire things are, which will be the first time in 4 years.
Yep.
There's coach speak about using him in like a goal line role, and his price gets pushed down because like the rookies are getting pushed up. Because we know like 3 to 4 receivers and running backs will get pushed up into like the top, 75, 60. So guys like him should drop. But yeah, his exact profile is B-Rob with Cliff, who I know is going to run him way more in the goal line. I know that.
Yep.
And I'm fading, Eckler. And yeah, so if I can have the arbitrage at 30 picks later, I'm just not taking him
every time. Yeah. So yeah, okay, let's talk about Singletary and Chuba because I am definitely in on both of those guys, and it looks like you are as well. So why don't you give the case for both of those guys? Kind of the same archetype. But yeah, why don't you vamp a little bit on that?
Well, once again, maxed pretty early. So the thought process was Devin was likely to re-sign with Houston, and I liked that. And even if he didn't, that meant that someone signed him away for more money, which is what happened. And now he's the starting running back in New York, and at the time his ADP very palpable, like very palatable. So same thing with Chuba. Chuba was getting talked up by new coach coming over from Canales coming over from Tampa, who just ran the shit out of Rashad. Chuba was more efficient than Rashad by a lot, rushing wise. They invested in the guards right off the bat, which helps the rushing game. And they keep talking about running. And I know Spags is kind of worried about all the top 30 visits they're having with running backs, but I think we can all look each other in the eye and admit they cannot invest at running back with any top 100 or 150 like draft capital because they don't have many draft picks and they need to make this rookie quarterback work. And
Yeah,
if they like Chuba and they're talking Chuba up, doesn't it make more sense to spend picks at double tapping receiver and tight end?
and they brought in Sanders last year and gave him like not a small bag, right? So
They
I think
also,
that also kind
they're
of
gonna.
protects them from drafting someone because like you're not going to invest even more on a bad team at running back. So
I think
yeah,
Chuba being cheap and being the likely starter for at least the first chunk, ending the draft, and like logic brain saying they have to make this work. I'm not comfortable saying that Deontay Johnson on a 1-year deal traded for a 6th round pick and the husk of Adam Thielen at 34 coming into his age 35 season is enough at wide receiver plus a 2nd round pick at wide receiver to be enough. So if that's logical to everybody else, like it is to me, they're not getting Brooks coming off an ACL tear. You're going to draft an. I like his odds to beat that.
yeah.
But you're gonna look me in the fucking eyes and tell me they're gonna draft Jonathan Brooks or Trey Benson in the in like the top 80 on a team that needs O line, D line, and wide receiver and tight
They need
end.
everything. They need literally everything.
It's not happening. It's not happening. I'm sorry. And if it does, I'll eat it. That's fine. Because again, Chuba's 130 to 150 all season, and I'm doing a lot of good player upside, blah, blah, blah. He's a starting running back, worst case scenario. And guess what? Canales kind of like mixed in the running backs. So even if they draft like a rookie, there's no guarantee the rookie's good, a la Tank Bigsby, anybody. And that he's meaningfully better than Chuba, who has proven himself good. Same thing with Singletary. He catches the ball. Coaches love him. That's why I was drafting a shit ton of him last year. He fits the scheme, and he can be Saquon light, but at pick 116 to 1. And I mean, fuck, he was like 130 to 145 most of the big board. So yeah, give him to me because running backs on bad teams can still like get volume to matter. I mean, Rashad White, great example of like he just got all the work, so he mattered a lot. But Devin's not a 9th round pick like Rashad was last year. He's 11th to 13th. Yeah, easy game.
I mean, we saw it with Brian Daboll before, right? Like there was a stretch for I think 2 or 3 stretches where like Singletary was just literally getting like you just said all the work, right? We know Daboll trusts him because we've seen Daboll trust him before. And I mean, that's another team where it's like, does it really make sense for the Giants to draft someone in the first 3 rounds, 4 rounds? Probably not. Like they could, but even then,
they'll get fired. They're not doing it. Like they're talking about maybe taking a quarterback in the first round, which Adam Schefter's saying what we all think, which is not likely because you're not going to take a guy like they have to play dimes at $45 million this year for a good chunk of the season. They have to. I'm sorry, but they're smoking to take like a Penix or whatever in the second. So it's like if they're going to take a quarterback in the 2nd or 3rd round, and they're taking a receiver or a tight end in the 1st and 2nd round, Where is this magical rookie that's going to outplay the coach's favorite who just handpicked him from free agency?
I mean, like, yeah, even if they do draft a rookie, like we know what's gonna happen. They're gonna try to play the rookie. The rookie's gonna fuck up, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, Devin Singletary, you don't make any mistakes."
Hey, Rook, get ready to learn. Zach Moss warms up the bench and Dayball's system, buddy. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, can't
okay.
get enough Brees, unfortunately, because first round pick. There's no fucking way you leverage yourself out like that.
Yep.
But I was taking him a lot when he was going behind. Like I'm taking him over Chase every time. As long as Higgins is in
Nice.
town, Chase's weekly upside is capped. Sorry. And if the team goes to shit, which it very might well, Brees has overcome Zach Wilson and something called Trevor Simeon. So pretty okay with him crushing again. But yeah, the second he got pushed up to like the top 5, 6, it's hard to get him, especially with Kirk in Atlanta. It's hard. Like Bijan has to be a coin flip with Brees. He just has to, unfortunately. But I'm taking Brees over Justin Jefferson and Chase most of the time because that also allows me to build 5, 6 running backs. And that's really powerful with how many affordable rookies there are that are really good too.
Yeah, how have you felt about? I know you finished up drafting a little bit ago, but Jefferson falling all the way to like 6, 7.
It's nice.
How do you feel about that?
I mean, it's nice. There is a concern, but I don't. There's no way Minnesota doesn't get a top 4 quarterback. There's not, and
I just it doesn't make sense.
They're doing it. The problem is, how confident are we that quarterback 4 is good? We don't. We just know ideally there's a lot of volume. Hopefully, the line is still kind of thin though. So they were really pass heavy with dudes that could chuck it, but they didn't care about those dudes. They will care about their top 10 quarterback investment. So I like Chase. I want to buy Chase. There is risk in his profile with a rookie quarterback, unbeknownst to us right now. You know, and because JJ McCarthy, he looks the part. He is fun. Are they going to have him throw 45 times a game?
No, absolutely not.
I
don't know. The only thing that like I am not worried, like that makes me not worried, is just the fact that even with Nick Mullins, who I don't think Nick Mullins is that great. I mean, he had like, so if Nick Mullins, I know maybe the volume won't be as crazy just because it is a rookie, so you're not just going to completely throw him into the fire. But like we've seen that coaching staff, they're super pass heavy. Maybe it's slower to start the season, but I don't see why it wouldn't be like at least like league average, right? Like I don't know. And you have the weapons.
My concern is just the rookie can struggle like Dobbs struggled. And when Dobbs struggled, the entire offense struggled.
Slow down. Yeah, that's true.
So my thing is, whoever's coming in, like the rookie coming in, will not have a starting tight end worth of shit. It's going to be Josh Oliver, FYI, for like at least the first fucking 8 to 10 weeks.
Yeah,
Addison's fine, and Jefferson's awesome. So if defenses just decide we're going to bracket Jefferson and make the rookie beat us with Addison and Josh Oliver and Aaron Jones, I can see how that becomes a struggle to get Jefferson to the playoffs, where he can hopefully start, hitting his stride with the rookie if the rookie doesn't like hit the ground running. Like we just saw Bryce Young, the QB1, who was a can't miss passer, struggle really bad. You know what I'm saying? Like there is risk. There is risk. And I'm saying that risk as I'm probably taking Jefferson over Amon-Ra. But I'm tempted to take Puka and Brees over Jefferson.
Really? Even Puka?
Puka's awesome, and his quarterback's great. And if Cooper goes down again, he crushes. Like it's another ascending player. I'm looking at him as like how people looked at Chase, except we have evidence that Puka's weekly and season-long ability to produce outweighs what Chase can do with Higgins. And Cincinnati might very well add another really talented wide receiver. If they add a really talented wide receiver to make it a 3-man thing again, Chase still has like nuclear upside weekly, but
Sure.
his odds of hitting that on a regular basis get lower. And I mean, I'm not going to ignore that. We keep pricing Chase like he's rookie year Chase, and we have evidence to suggest that's not the case from a widely outproduce your wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I can. I mean, I'm not gonna take Amon-Ra over Chase, but like I don't know. I'm not gonna be
No,
fading
Amon
him.
Ra has the same problem, except like it when the shit hits the fan, they both get fed. So and then
Sure.
Chase is the more talented player. But
Yeah.
the offense I trust is going to be better right out the gate is Detroit. But yeah, I mean, Chase over Amon-Ra easily. But and I'm probably taking Jefferson and Puka. But I'm mixing in Chase because you gotta. But
You got to do a little bit.
I would have liked. I mean, it made sense to keep Higgins, which is why I haven't been aggressive with Chase. I think Chase's price should adjust. I think we're really tethered to that rookie year in that 40-point game.
That's fair. Not derogatory. Let's see. Who else do we have here? Will Shipley. I've been pretty into Will Shipley. Like his profile, pass catcher. His RAS score was very solid as well. I'm not obviously draft capital is going to play into it, but I do think he's a guy where if he gets the opportunity, he can smash. So yeah, why don't you talk about Shipley for a little bit?
Well, again, a lot of the drafting was early on. Shipley has maintained basically basically free between rounds 18 and 20, the entire big board. He's got a do-it-all profile. He's not exciting like some of the other guys are exciting, but that's why they got priced up. But he weirdly didn't. His price did not go up when he crushed his RAS.
Yeah, people just didn't care. I don't know.
He's he's the one guy that no one gave a flying fuck did really good in his RAS. So if it's a weak class, someone's gonna pop. And also, who's more likely to overtake a role? A guy that can fit in as a 3-down back is more likely to take a role by the end of the season. So I'm taking him at 190 to 205 every time. Oh, you can. Hi, I'm bottom guy. You can see my. That's why I'm not looking at porn right now. But yeah, so it's give me that profile at RB61 because my thing is I'm not taking Keaton Mitchell or Ezekiel Elliott or Izzy Abanikanda over Will Shipley. I'm not.
The upside is with Shipley every single time. Yeah,
that makes no sense. Also, I live in Texas. I love Shipley's Donuts. So give me all of the Shipley.
I think with this weak running back class, there's almost I know people like Marshawn Lloyd, they like Braylon Allen, everyone has their guy.
And Marshawn Lloyd's got a similar profile.
Yeah.
And wasn't as athletic, but they like him more for reasons.
I was gonna say there's what a 70, 80 pick difference between some of those guys, 50 to 80 pick difference at different times, right? It's not like I don't want some of those other running backs, but it's just this is a very similar bet at a much lower cost. Why are we signing Keaton Mitchell? Keaton Mitchell was undrafted free agent. He tore his ACL late in the season. They just brought in Derrick Henry. I know Spags has been drafting. He drafted some Keaton Mitchell. He's drafting some Dobbins. That is one I can definitely not get on board with. There's no reason to be drafting him. When he hits, he's not even going to hit that big. And yeah, I mean, just what do they have investment tied into him? Nothing. It's just I don't get that one. So yeah, I'm glad we're aligned.
Okay, guys, you're really excited about Keaton because he ripped off 10 for 80 and a touchdown, or I think it was even less than that, let's be honest. One game, and that was awesome. But his competition was Gus Edwards, who did flame out, the back half of the season, and Justice Hill, famously bad. They just brought in Derrick Henry. He's coming off he's coming off an ACL. It's not nothing. And here's the thing. ACL doesn't matter that much for guys who are really, really, really fucking athletic. I'm happy on Twitter when I'm not shit posting and I'm not making yucks. I am sharing all the news and all the health news I can give. Health-wise, TLDR, ACLs are likely to not matter for the 90th and upward percentile athletes and for the super young. And when you combine those two, like Brees last year, we are very confident that after a 2 to 4 week, maybe even 6 week, like ramp up, where they get to 80%, 90%, 100% health, they hit their stride and they crush. Keaton Mitchell is not a 90th percentile athlete, guys. He's not. Go look at his RAS. His size, his speed, it's not. He's got like twitch, he's got wiggle, he's got speed, but it's not 90th percentile. He is young. That helps. His draft capital sucks. That does not help. It happened late. That does not help because if he comes back, you do 9 months from the surgery date, and then you give a 4 to 6 week ramp up period. And you need a ramp up period for a guy who is a change of pace back who do not handle more than 10 touches.
And the team just signed Derrick Henry.
With a team that signed Derrick Henry and has Lamar. He's fine. But it's like, I'm not chasing that now. I'm not. Because we also don't know how the recovery's going. He could have a setback at any point between now and training camp and push that clock back. I'm not taking that guy. And I get it's free. It doesn't matter. Go with God, brother. That's fine. But I'm not taking a fucking scat back coming off an ACL when I could be chasing guys who can hit the ground running immediately.
Yeah,
that makes no sense.
And yeah, we're you
don't wanna... Who is his doctor? Who is his doctor? Who's
I've never heard. Hey, we had the originator of that news, Steph, on the channel last week. So we had to bring that up. But yeah, I mean, and Brooks is a completely different beast, right? Like, he will have draft capital. It wasn't as late, and whatever. It's just like it's a different beast. So yeah,
I would disagree that the ADP is baked in. Justice Hill is going pick 220 to 230,
almost undrafted. Yeah,
Justice Hill's basically undrafted, and he's going 20 picks behind Keaton Mitchell. Justice Hill is A, healthy, B, still on the Ravens. The ADP is not baking in Keaton Mitchell's injury if he's 20 picks higher than Justice Hill. I'm sorry. I don't agree with that. Also,
we got people coming in just still.
They hate us because they ain't us, all right? I am not afraid to have a disgusting motherfucker at the top because what if? I mean, like, that's it.
We just don't know.
He's a 29-year-old who catches passes in the red zone. Get at me. That's a valuable free agent coming into August to ruin your precious little rookie who got drafted in the 5th round or below, who's not going to fucking matter because he's all going to lose anyway.
Okay, let's see who else. So wait, I have a question for you actually before we talk about more running backs. So wait, what were you drafting off ADP? Were you using rankings? Were you using blended rankings? What was your process for that? And what's your process going to be moving into BBM as well?
Great question. So I practiced what I preached and did the annoying thing, which was, so before Leg Up Rankings came out, I went through, I took ADP, I made my own rankings, and in order to remove my 9 to 12, I'm not touching them, I'm not drafting them guys. Your J.K. Dobbins, your Keaton Mitchells, your cry about it. I don't care. I'm not taking them. Your Jerry Jeudy's, zero Jerry. I'm not taking those guys. So I wouldn't even see them in my app. So if I auto drafted, had a glitch, whatever, they're not on my fucking team.
That's
so that was first. Then I started adjusting as what up to everybody joining, by the way. Hell of a stream. If you're coming in late, I'm glad you came.
Watch from the beginning.
First of all, we're very glad you came. I like it when you come. Go back. There's some great shit. Some very good shit. So enjoy the shit while you're here. But yeah, made my rankings based on just ADP, minusing a few guys, and then just started adjusting. Who do I like better? And that made me think, why do I like them better? And then I asked myself, and then I started ranking them based on construction. I like, and it made me tier them. I like these guys way more. Now, it became really fucking annoying weekly when ADPs are shifting. So I'm super glad, a little late though, I'm gonna be honest, of being able to swap between ADP and rankings,
That's
because
such a nice change. Yeah.
that helps me not have to rearrange my rankings like every 3 days to make sure I'm not
Constantly.
missing like a blind spot. But yes, I basically adjusted them based on and then especially because that was my way of baking in news. Like, who is likely to get cut? No Michael Thomas. Who is likely to not get cut? Kamara. I'm boosting him up. He's not good, but like he should be higher than, blah, blah, blah. And just
Sure,
shifting all
get your
that shit around.
exposures up on those guys where you think it's mispriced, like kind of preemptively doing that. Yeah.
Exactly. And yeah, exactly. And so tiering them better were and then that also helped me hit the pockets better. To like remind myself, hey, I know you like this player, but there's this pocket that, like, your construction wise, you don't need a seventh wide receiver. You need a running back. So shift these running backs up before you think about this guy. And that would help my process to make sure, because one of my flaws is getting really excited getting my guys and getting my constructions in and forgetting that pockets matter. And that really smooths my drafting experience. And I got reps, I maxed everything, and I feel like I'm a well-oiled machine coming into BBM season.
Some would say you're all lubed up.
I am lubed up like a Dylan in New Hampshire, ready for this BBM stuff. It's fantastic.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because it's I mean, obviously we used to say best ball and fantasy was all year round, but now like literally we had like no break, right? Like, so it is really nice, because I think last year I wasn't doing as much drafting before, like in the big board and whatnot, but now it's like we're like there's no excuse. Like we're all ready. We're like, I think even more than last year, like everyone is just talking about the rookies, like, right? Like Leg Up was just being created like around this time last year. There's just so much more information about the rookies, so many more podcasts, so many more streams, so much more.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it's lining up really well for that drop of BBM. So yeah, so how are you going to approach, like in the beginning of BBM, right after the draft, it's going to drop immediately after. What are going to be the main like points that you're trying to hit, main players, types of players you're going to hit, just general strategy for those first couple days as ADPs are adjusting. ADPs are adjusting quicker than they used to on Underdog, I believe, but we still know there will be some lag, because we've seen even with big news and stuff, there's some lag there. So what is your approach there? And how, any other thoughts about just kind of going into BBM season?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, the rookies that go high and early are going to go high and early and often. So I think hitting it early on is going to be knowing that the super exciting receivers, and especially the guys that, like, guys are going to get double counted. So like being aware of who's likely to get double counted and avoiding that chase up and waiting for them to level off when people realize we knew that, relax. But targeting the rookies that got solid capital in solid situations that the market may not be as excited about or maybe too overconfident in. Like if the Browns draft a running back, they just restructured Chubb. Everybody's going to see, up to $14 million in incentives. They're not going to see that his base is $2 million, and incentives for a 29-year-old running back coming off a double ligament injury. That rookie's got way more likelihood to make it interesting and Chubb to be a $3 million cut candidate because he doesn't hit any of his incentives or just depth. So like being mindful of the guys the market may be overvaluing name value versus new blood coming in, but also being aware to not knowing who to get aggressive with chasing up. Like if a wide receiver like Troy Franklin, Xavier Legette, Ladd McConkey, those guys who are sitting in that 130 to 115 range, if those guys get top 40 capital, top 50 capital,
they're going to the moon.
It's on like Donkey Kong. And also Carolina Panthers, everybody's fudding the shit out of them. But guess what? Canales just worked his magic in Seattle. Everybody said there was going to be a shit ass team.
And with Baker.
And then with Baker. 2 quarterbacks, 2 teams everybody gave up on. The Panthers looked like shit. Bryce looked like shit. If they draft a Bowers, a Sinat, who they just brought in for a top 30 visit, a Leggett, or whatever, I don't care what you fucking thought about their profiles. If they get really good capital, that's meaningful. And also, they have an opportunity to produce. So, like, being aggressive on the young guys with good, exciting profiles, like the late declare bullshit. I'm not as concerned with that given COVID stuff and draft capital. If you're double counting late or early declare with draft capital, you're doing it wrong. JJ Zacharyson talks about this all the time. It's a way for us to like track what the draft capital is going to do. So it's just hammering the rookies appropriately, but not chasing them too far up. And then also looking macro. I'm not going to get excited about the New England Patriots drafting a rookie quarterback. I already decided that Brissett was good enough floor. So like, if they still might suck, it doesn't matter, you know. Like,
yeah, exactly.
And we're adjusting appropriately, and that's going to be hard for some people. But also to keep in mind that early on, getting your guys, I don't think is as important as building soundly, especially for BBM. It's going to be a contest open till fucking August. All right, so draft smart, clean, constructed teams. Remember that the 3-week playoff gauntlet is a motherfucker. Stack, correlate as you can. Don't get out over your skis. It's easy to get lost in the weeds. Come back.
Memorize that week 17 schedule once it comes out.
Yeah, don't overlap it with last year's week 17 schedule, which is hard to.
I was gonna say, like, I think on Spag stream today on Splash Play, I was like, I still have like that's how like I just am sick in the head. And I just still like I'll just be like Miami, Baltimore. Like I'll just like have these things in the back of my head, and I'm like, okay, I need to like somehow just wipe the shit clean and just start fresh. So
yeah, and it's also okay to onslaught really good teams. Be mindful though that like concentration is concentration. So like the wide receiver, if the Dolphins don't draft a third wide receiver. We spent all offseason chasing the third wide receiver on the Dolphins, and that player did not matter because that player was not good, even when Waddle and Reek missed time.
yeah.
Exactly. So maybe highly concentrated offenses are only worthwhile on the concentrated guys, and maybe taking shots on unconcentrated offenses that can benefit from chaos is the way to play it. So reminder to me, reminder to everybody else, trying to win, baby. And that motherfucking shit's hard. But you can do it by being smart, being sound, and by listening and taking in information, man. We're going to get a shit ton of news. We're going to get a shit ton of signal. And we're going to get a shit ton of noise. Sifting through it, addressing it, being analytically sound about it, being mindful about it. All those things matter. And those are things really, really tough to do. Injuries are going to crop up. Situations are going to adjust. Adjust quicker, adjust better, adjust faster. Get lucky.
Hell yeah, brother. What a way to close it out. So everyone make sure I put in the chat up there, but I will also leave it down below and comment after. But make sure to go sub to Fantasy Sanctuary so you can check out EmoCowboy and his Monday streams once BBM drops. I have the link in there as well. We have a lot of big guests that are scheduled for the next couple months. So be sure to like. Over 70% of the people that watch these videos aren't subbed. So if you're not already subbed,
cowards,
you got to hit that sub. We're going to be bringing you the juicy alpha all summer long. We will have Tyler on, I'm sure, many times during the summer as he's in the streets. And I hope everyone has a great Thursday night and a good weekend once we get there. So any closing words, Tyler?
Thanks for having me on, Biddles. Always appreciate chopping it up with you, man. Good looking dude who knows his shit, grinds the Virgin Dynasty streets like nobody else. So he knows those young, supple rookies better than anybody else. Coach, your other co-host, is fantastic. Y'all do a great job drafting teams, learn a lot, get a lot of good info there. As Biddles mentioned, I will be co-hosting a weekly Monday afternoon Best Ball Mania stream with Tom over in the Fantasy Sanctuary. So if you like these takes, if you hate these takes, if you want to tell me how fucking stupid I am, that's cool. I'll take it. Come say hey. Come drop a like. Come talk that shit. Change my mind. I dare you. And that starts April 29th when BBM drops. See y'all in the streets.
Have a great night, everyone. And yeah, be sure to tune in. You get more of that big hair. That's all you need, right? Like it's gonna get you all lubed up. So have a great night, everyone.